Okay, so we have a DV9700. It's an AMD model, and what we see here is the user has stated that it has no display, blinks the lights, and has the functionality of a serving tray. So what we're going to do is plug our power adapter in. We need to move this memory stick, and we have our external video that goes straight here. So what we're going to do is turn the system on. We get lights, and we're going to see if we get a sync off of our screen. So our light should go orange to green, which it just did. And we have video, so we're going to boot it into the BIOS and see what happens. Most likely we should get it to boot, but we're going to have to verify that. Now it is taking it a second to go into the BIOS, whether that's due to a chipset error or the system just taking its time because of a CMOS battery. Not exactly sure. So we're gonna hopefully have this thing boot in. It may lock up and turn off, which we have seen some do the same thing before. We have it boot in. So what we see here is we have pretty much a system with a good BIOS. Has a good CMOS battery because it's kept a time and date, and we're seeing that the system actually runs. So in the end, what we'll still do is break it down, put it on the reflow unit and reflow it, and check it from there and see what happens. Okay, so what we've done is taken our heatsink off, and we noticed that there are large amounts of ceramic thermal compound, and that the actual TIM is smashed. So what we're going to do is clean this off, and it's actually on the pads here on top of our chipset, or not our chipset, but our power in system here. So what we're going to have to do is clean all this out and get it cleaned off, and then go from there. We can actually see that we have old thermal compound, the gray thermal silver bearing compound that's actually inlaid on top of the, or underneath the ceramic compound. So what we need to do is clean all this off, and clean all this off of here, and make sure that we have a fully functioning system before we okay, so we have our board sitting on the system here. So what we're going to do is cut on our preheater. We're going to wait for everything to get to temp, and then of course, as we do with all our systems, we're going to align our lamp over the actual chipset, and then we're going to lower the boom to where it's adjusted correctly to center the chipset into it, and it appears everything's ready. So once this preheater gets to temp where it needs to be, then what we'll do is turn the system on and then go from there. So we're going to let this heat up, and then we're going to actually do the reflow process on it, and then we're going to prep it and test it and see that everything works on it. Okay, so we have our system hooked back up. What we're going to do is turn it on. We get a light, we get the fans. So we're going to see if it syncs with the video here and goes into BIOS. It should, because it did before. So we have a video sync, and we have the HP splash screen. It says it's going into the BIOS. So we're just going to confirm everything's good like that. And it may take it a few seconds. It did before, so we'll just verify that everything's going in. That way we can get the information as far as the memory being allocated correctly, the processor being done, and everything seems to be set correctly. The BIOS did reset itself, so we need to put a time and date on that. But besides that, everything looks good. We're going to call this machine complete. We'll put some thermal compound on it, throw it on a different bench, and turn it on and let it run, and let it do its burn-in for 2 hours, and then go from there.